Memorial landline if I'm party is likely in a 44. And possible ID of loss of rust, first of Manual, middle of Alberto, 723 to 76. Verifying if they have confirmed an ID and if they have any contact info for the family.
It was just like any other night that night. He was sitting back, kicking and sipping some Bud Light, stressed out from the beach, just trying to unwind. Only God knows why he decided to drive to the liquor store, but he done it before, just a couple blocks north, ain't a left off for. But this time he made the turn and he failed to stop and nailed the grandpa using the crosswalk. He slammed on the brakes, stunned and started to shake. He opened the door, blood stains splattered the paint. The man was in pain, he looked him right in the face, but it was too late, he was slipping away. In that moment of silence, when he closed his eyelids, was cut short by the sharp sound of the sirens. How could this happen? Lights flashing around him, squeezing the man's hand, that's how they found him. Too late yet, you better get the message before you end up dead. Are you ready for heaven? All you gotta do is put the keys down. I can hear him scream now, put the damn keys down. Too late yet, you better get the message before you end up dead. Are you ready for heaven? All you gotta do is put the keys down. I can hear him scream now, put the damn keys down. Grandpa, Grandma, Joe and Atlanta, Mom, Dad, and Chad all packed the van up and hit the open road. They were headed for the cabin. Little did they know that would never happen. Jason and Stacy were drunk out their faces, headed in the opposite way on Highway 6, smoking reefer, sipping cans of brewski, swerving, speeding, and acting goofy. Jay dropped his joint on the floor and looked down, swerved out and hit the family's last house. He came to in a hospital bed with police all around and his rights were read. Jason was arrested, the only survivor. The rest died from impact, wreckage, and fire. 8 lives lost from a stupid decision. Guilt-ridden Jay now lives in a prison. Too late yet, you better get the message before you end up dead. Are you ready for heaven? All you gotta do is put the keys down. I can hear him scream now, put the damn keys down. Too late yet, you better get the message before you end up dead. Are you ready for heaven? All you gotta do is put the keys down. I can hear him scream now, put the damn keys down.
All right, so today's part 1. I want to tell you before my incident, and I always call it an incident because it could have been prevented. You know, I was in a DUI incident. I was on my way to work and I got hit head on from a person that was under the influence. So I want to tell you how it was for me before my incident. Okay. And this is something I never get to speak about. So before my incident, you know, when I started having, you know, I became a family man. You know, I became a family man. I was working, and I'm not gonna lie, I was working my butt off. But I always made time for my family. You know, I always made time for family time. You know, you can ask my kids, you can ask my lady, you know, I always made sure I had my family time. And all my kids' events, I was there. You know, all of their, anything they had to do, I was there. You know, I would take them to the trail. I would do the little mini hike through the trail. Or I even got bikes and we started riding bikes through the trail. And, you know, I always made time for the family. And that was me. I became a family man. I was working, and we were living comfortable. You know, I'm not saying we were rich. We were still struggling, you know, check by check, but we were surviving. We were surviving comfortably. And, you know, I would come home and I would barbecue. It didn't matter if it was 110-degree weather or if it was pouring down rain, hailing. I was always out there barbecuing. I was always making the best of our situation. As I'm doing now, I'm making the best of our situation. But, you know, that's just the type of person I was. You know, to me, family always came first. And then, you know, I was even the type that would sit there and talk to a lot of the homeless people. I was the type to sit there and give somebody literally the shoes off my feet, which I've done that before. And it made me feel good. You know, I was always that type. I was always the type that spent time with family, spent time with friends, you know, made the best of it. You know, I was always, you know, trying to find time. Well, I did. I always found time where, you know, I would make date night with just me and Kim at least once a month and still have time for the kids, still have time to go to their practices, go to their games, go to their events, go to when my kids had competition in Vegas. I made that time, and that was me. That was being before the incident. And I love, I was always pretty much full of love. I was always making a positive out of our situations. Yeah, times got hard, times got stressful. I'm not gonna lie, and but that was me. I would come home from work, and I remember sometimes my wife would get mad because I wouldn't sit down and watch a movie with her. I would come home, I would sit down for a minute. I gotta go, to the restroom. Next thing you know, I'm mowing the front lawn. I'm washing the car. I'm doing yard work. I'm cleaning out the garage. I was organizing stuff. Or I was, next thing you know, I was outside, playing. I remember I used to pick up my grandkids all the time on the way home from work. And I would come home from work, and my grandkids would be home. And they come running outside, Papa, Papa, Papa. And I used to pick them up and just swing them around. I would sit there, got a tetherball pole to play tetherball with my kids, my grandkids. That was just the type of person I was. And so this was me, a little bit about me before my incident. And I don't want to make this video too lengthy, but that's just a little sample of me before my incident. As a matter of fact, I might do it live. September 18th is going to make 5 years when it happens. I have a video that I want to drop for September 18th of my incident. And I might go live. You guys got any questions about me before my incident? I'll be more than willing to answer and talk to you guys about it. And, just pretty much talk about my incident and some other stuff later on, different lives. But before my incident, matter of fact, DJ. I didn't know how to DJ, but I had some of the equipment, and I would DJ parties just for gas money, trying to help families out that couldn't afford a real DJ. But I did my best, and luckily, people enjoyed it, and they gave me tips, but that was me. And that's just the type of person, I was before my incident. I was a family man. I was on my way to work the morning of, and it was 4:50 a.m. on a Tuesday morning, September 18th. As a matter of fact, it made 5 years. And I just happened to be in front of a path of somebody's selfish act, decided to drive, while under the influence. So anyways, that's just a little bit of my history before my incident. And, unfortunately, I am where I am now. This is part one. Part two is going to be about when I was in a coma, when I was in the hospital. And I want to do part three about the ripple effects and all that, where I'm at today. So this is part one. This is a little bit about me before my incident. Maybe I'll do it live. Let me know in the comments after, let me know in the actual comments if you want me to go live and speak about it. We'll set up a date and we'll go live. We'll set up a time, whether it's late night, the best time for everybody. Leave in the comments, please, if you're watching this, and I'll do that. So with that said, you guys, this is one of the reasons why I always say this, because, that morning of September 18th, I didn't come home. That morning, I was supposed to come home, but that's, later on for part two, I'll speak more about that. But part one, I left that morning. I was happy. I was going to have a good day. And this is just a little bit about my history before my incident. So with that said, make sure you tell your loved ones you love them before you leave your house, because you're not guaranteed to make it home. Be blessed and stay blessed.
43 Land, we have Memorial Landline advising their parties like the Houston of 44. They have a possible ID of loss of Russ, first of Manuel, middle of Alberto, 723 to 76. They're inquiring if they have confirmed an ID and if they have any contact info for the family.
Next time you're drunk and you pick up the keys, I hope you take a second to remember this beat. If you don't, then you drive and somebody does die. I warned you, fair and square, don't be surprised. I know you think you're tough on the liquor and stuff, but it's too late when you wake up, crippled and hunched. My friend stuck in the chair, you can't tell me it's fair. He can't even speak, so his message I share. It's a breath of fresh air to know some of you care. I'm clearing the air, so take a good look in the mirror and ask yourself, are you ready to stand up to anyone, anywhere? Planet to drive drunk? All I can ask is that you follow this task before another mother has to cry, holler, and gasp. All because you had to suck a couple bottles back and drive away. Now she'll never get her daughter back. Too late yet, better get the message before you end up dead. Are you ready for heaven? All you gotta do is put the keys down. I can hear him scream now, put the damn keys down. Too late yet, better get the message before you end up dead. Are you ready for heaven? All you gotta do is put the keys down. I can hear him scream now, put the damn keys down.
911! Is he breathing? Is he breathing?
Wait, order Garcia, that's it, book, 1098.
10-4, copy last of Garcia was booked for DUI 98.